What's up, everybody? We are back. Episode 2 of the Smokin Word podcast. We want to thank everybody who supported us on the first episode, spreading the word. Little by little, we got to start infiltrating the system around the world, so spread that. Spread the link. You can catch us on YouTube and SoundCloud. Press like. If you don't like it, go jump off a fucking roof. But
kill yourself.
Yeah. But we want to thank everybody for representing and spreading the word for us. But we over here, we're in
don't just get injured.
Yeah, we're in Munich, Germany, live. I'm here with Fred,
yo,
and JJ behind the fucking buttons, controlling the microphones.
Yeah.
But
Grandmaster J.
Yeah. But yeah, where are we? What day is it? That's what I want to know. What's the fucking date today?
Oh man, that's a good question. Well, whatever day it is, it's
the 6th. Is the 6th of August?
Whatever day it is, I wish I could press fast forward and be home. It's Jesus Christ.
But anyway, yeah, we're in the bus right now. We just got some new microphones. Hope you people like it. We're trying to step this up. But yeah, we do want to use today's. We're gonna do a little something different. We're gonna start airing some shit out that's going around. There's a lot of stories going around about a certain situation that happened with our trip to Greece. There's we've been reading a lot of stories and hearing a lot of bullshit stories and people that don't even know what the hell's going on talking. So now we got somewhere to air people out and let people know what it really is. So
why would they ever give us a platform to do this, huh?
Yeah, now you won't get stomped out. Now you're just gonna get verbally stomped out.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just gonna say, at least you ain't getting kicked in your teeth.
But anyway, I'm gonna hand it over to Fred, and he's gonna let you know what's up. So keep listening.
Oh shit, I'm riding solo on this. Jay, what do you have to say about it? Well, basically, I want to preface this whole little, addressing this whole issue with, I want to preface it with, I love Greece as a country. I love the culture. I love the people that support us there. The whole thing. I mean, I've actually, besides us playing there many, many times throughout the years, and we've had great shows there, in Athens and Thessaloniki. Besides that, I've actually gone there with my wife, and I've actually taken trips there to Creta, to Crete, and Santorini. It's a beautiful place, man. It's the history, everything about it, the food. It's wonderful. It's magnificent. Okay, so let me preface this whole thing with that. We love Greek culture. We love the Greek people. Now, fast forward to this Athens show. Last tour, Agnostic Front and Madball were supposed to play Athens, Greece. Okay. Obviously, the country's going through some crazy shit. This crisis is not a brand new thing either. This is like a long time coming. I mean, there's been a crisis happening for quite some time now, I think, in my opinion, years, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
This is not like just happened yesterday. I mean, this has been building up to this, and it's a sad thing. It's unfortunate for any country to have to go through that, and not so much. It's not so much for me. It's not so much about the politicians or anything like that. It's anybody who has businesses who's trying to take care of their people, take care of their families. If you're suffering due to this, mess, then I feel for you. Genuinely feel for you. Okay? But, with this show, it was incredible to me that we got so much flack for not, being able to get there when, number one, it wasn't our fault. We literally found out. I think I told Hoya about the cancellation at the airport.
Yeah.
On the way here.
I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I was like, yo, we ain't doing Greece, right? And he was like, what? I mean, that's how crazy this was. Okay. And so now we got to deal with all the logistics that are involved when, you cancel a show. So yeah, I'll put that out there first and foremost. We found out literally as we were coming here, which to be honest with you, is very unprofessional, okay? And especially considering the people involved, because these are people, you know, and I'm not going to say any names because that's not my style. You know, I ain't no rat.
But they all know who they are.
You know who you are.
Exactly.
I'm not going to give out names and addresses. I ain't on some snitch shit because we don't get down like that ever. So, you know, but we're gonna you know, say what we got to say because you know, we can, because we can.
And we want to, because we know the people there. There's a lot of people there that always had Madball's back in that country, and we love that country.
Absolutely.
And we're doing this for them, for the people that really know
absolutely
what kind of people we are and how we do our thing. And we wouldn't have lasted this long if we didn't do what we do right, being business-wise, showing up, and, you know, doing what they get us there for.
I mean, you know, for better or for worse, people know that we're genuine. You know what I mean? That's it. People know that on the street. People know that when we get on the stage. People know that when we put out records, you know? We're genuine people. We're sincere, for better or for worse. I'm not saying we're not flawed. I'm not saying we don't make mistakes ever. But the reality is we're genuine, and you can feel it and hear it through our music, and if you've ever hung with us, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Hoya's right. There are so many people in Greece that know that. You know what I mean? They feel that. When we go there, they feel it. You know what I mean? I feel it from them. You know what I'm saying? It's an exchange of energy, an exchange of vibes. So, you know, like I said, man, we love our supporters there, and I know that there's a lot of people there that feel the same way for us. So, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, hey, look, there's always a business side to it, and that's pretty much mostly what we're addressing is that. You know, a couple of people chiming in about why didn't you play for free and all that. If only it was that simple. You know, if only it was that simple. Bottom line is, the show got canceled. We didn't cancel the show. They canceled it on us. Madball had flights leaving Athens, Greece. Okay? So think about that for a second. We had every intention of going to Athens. Okay? We set up a weekend of shows. Mind you, it wasn't a very profitable weekend. I think we actually lost money that weekend besides Greece. But hey, that's not anyone's business. I don't talk numbers on air and none of that. But just to give you some background, okay? So we just did a weekend of shows. Greece was one of them. We were flying out of Athens. So we had every intention of ending there and flying home from there. AF was in the middle of a tour, so they were going to fly there and come back. Okay, you know, they were as annoyed as us about, you know, the cancellation, even though monetarily, well, it's going to affect everybody, but it wasn't going to affect them as bad as it affected us. But that doesn't matter. It's the principle. Like, hey, man, we had this day allotted to go play and do our thing over there with these people, and what the hell is going on? And basically, yeah, the show got canceled. And then, you know, the whole thing started coming in about, you know, the crisis and the banks closing and the whole bit, which, you know, I'm not trivializing that in one bit. You know, it's like I said, it's a very unfortunate thing what's going on there. And I know a lot of people being affected by it. I also know that a lot of people were smart enough to pull their money out of the banks. And there are a lot of people who probably have some cash stashed in their house, because I know around the world that's like a thing. You know what I mean? Not everybody puts their money in the bank, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. People were affected. It's an unfortunate thing that's happening, and it's terrible. Fast forward to the show gets canceled. We're not going to be able to make it there. Okay, what's up? Okay, but so what's going on? Where are the flights? No contact about the flights. All the different camps are trying to make contact with certain individuals in Athens, and no response about the flights. Mind you, these flights were supposedly bought and paid for. I'm talking about the flights from mainland Europe to Athens, okay, for us and Agnostic Front. We're waiting on, you know, information about, so whatever happened to these flights, because I was getting, you know, pressured about these flights weeks and months ago. I mean, these flights were, what was told to me, these flights were bought and paid for. Nobody wants to answer any questions about flights, you know, because we actually were considering, hey, if the flights were bought, Maybe we go there and we take our chances. But we wouldn't even get a straight answer about the flights. Turns out, flights were never bought. They were put on hold. I've never heard of an airline company or a travel agency. I don't know. You guys maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong. But have you ever heard of a travel agency or an airline company that puts tickets on hold for months?
That's
For
fantasy.
weeks or months? No?
Fantasy.
Okay. So basically, there was a lot of, obviously people involved felt something in the air. And I mean, who wouldn't with everything building up in Greece? But the decent thing to do was shut it down way ahead of time before tickets were bought, before things were planned, before things were booked. That's the decent and professional thing to do. Okay? The individuals involved were people that at one time we considered these people friends.
So yeah,
we consider this guy a friend.
So even besides forget business, as a friend, how do you leave people that's supposed to be your people out to hang when knowing that they got families to get to and they got, they have to get home and they got expenses.
But no,
to
it doesn't
pay.
matter. It doesn't matter. Our life is unimportant. It doesn't matter. There's a crisis. Forget our lives, forget our families, forget our livelihood, forget everything else. Yeah. That's the thing that I got to speak on because that's unfair. I'm never going to trivialize what's happening in Greece right now. I'll repeat it again and again and again. But don't trivialize my life, okay? Because we play in a hardcore band. This ain't AC/DC. This ain't Metallica. I don't get picked up in a Bentley when I get home. We make a very modest living. Okay, we're one of the few lucky bands from our genre, from our scene, that can actually make a living, have a career doing this. But when I tell you that, it's a very modest and humble, financial situation. You know what I mean? Nobody's living a lavish lifestyle doing hardcore music.
This is a family business, and it's run like a family business, and
it's a mom and pop shop, man.
Yeah.
We have better years, we have good years, we have not so good years. Okay, so I'm not gonna say we don't make money doing hardcore. That's stupid to say that because that'd be a lie. Obviously, we make money doing it, but it's a very modest income. We get by. We pay our rent. We take care of our families. We feed our. But that's precisely my point. On that tour, we were already in the red. We were already losing money, and then on top of that, you hit us over the head with this Greece thing. That cost us many thousands of dollars. Okay, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. To some people, like, oh, that's a lot to us, man. That caused a personal financial crisis in our camp.
Yeah.
Okay? 3, 4, 5 G's is something. That might not mean nothing to, I don't know.
Whoever.
I don't know, one of these fucking DJs that
My baby boy eats for
makes
three.
$500,000 for one fucking show.
My baby Victor needs to eat, and he eats a lot. Trust me, we need every cent we could get.
I'm not over here crying and complaining. We chose this path. We chose this life, or it chose us, and then we chose it, whatever it is. But I got to break it down and bring people back to reality just a little bit, because there are way too many people out there entrenched in fantasy land, a.k.a. social media, a.k.a. the internet. That is fantasy land. Now, anybody that knows me knows I'm not really on that. I love it, for communication purposes. I love the fact that our supporters can reach out to us. We can reach out to them. I love it for all that. It's a great vehicle for all of that. It's a great platform.
ConcertRock.com for t-shirts.
There you go. See what I'm saying? $100 a shirt. No,
Yeah.
but and like this, now this is the podcasting is a new platform, a new outlet. Hey, it's a wonderful thing. But me personally, I don't get down with social media. I'm not on there. I don't get into internet chit chatter, beefs, blah blah blah. People know how I handle my business. I don't do it typing. I don't do none of that. I do that. But hey, we were talking about it the other day, and we got a little frustrated because people kept sending us information like, yeah, look what these people are saying, look what that people are saying. Oh yeah, this, and so we put out a statement, and then some moron leaves this whole big long, mini biography about what he thinks is right, and obviously it's either the promoter himself or somebody very, very, very close to his camp, because he's using words like clients and goofy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I've never referred to the people that come and see us play as clients. Clients? That is just that's weird. So we got that. Somebody sent me a thing. We looked at it, and I'm like, man, Hoya, we got to talk about this because it's ridiculous. First of all, it's not our fault that we didn't make it to Greece. Secondly, we lost all kinds of money. Not just us. I'm not looking at it from a selfish standpoint. Everyone involved, Agnostic Front, crew, everyone that depends on this stuff for a living. Okay, and obviously, all the fans that were looking forward to this show. You don't always see Madball Agnostic Front together. So that's a big deal.
Exactly. That's one of the main reasons for us doing this. We wanted to let the people, because we know we get a lot of love there, and we have a lot of loving for Greece.
Maybe we would have played for free, Hoy, if they would have bought the flights.
Yeah, exactly. We want the people that know who we are and how we really get down, and the people that know us for who we really are, that this is for them to know that we wanted to be there. Other people just do bad business, and we don't get down with bad business. And now
I have an idea. We'll start playing every show for free, but we'll do a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
so you can support our families.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know what
happens when you do a free show and I come home and they got us coming to camp get his rent, and I go, oh no, we just played a free show, so nah.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
We can't pay your rent. Oh no, my son's hungry. Nah. You don't get no food today. We just played a bunch of free shows.
And Greece is a country that we don't get to go to a lot, like other places in Europe. So we felt like we wanted to let the people there know. It was real important to us because we have a lot of love for Greece. Again, we're saying it a lot, but
I would have played for free too, not for nothing with all the shit that's going through. But
how are we gonna get there with no plane?
Again, no fucking flights.
No Spartans show up. There was no fucking.
And no answer. No answer.
There was no. What the fuck? I was supposed to get
no
there.
answer about the flights, Hoya.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what happened?
And really,
silence.
My mother was gonna kill me because I was supposed to bring a brick of feta cheese for her. So she was
straight up.
She's gonna flip on me.
No, it's unfortunate, man, that it even comes to this. And like I said, I'm not gonna get into some internet war with anybody. You crazy? That's not my style at all. I'm too old school for that shit. But I tell you what, Hoya's. This is Hoya's thing, this podcast. But he's got me. He's like, hey, I'm riding with him on this. And hey, you want to talk about something? Hey, I'll express my opinion. I'll give you. Not only will I express my opinion, but I'll give you some facts to back it up because I got facts. I got a lot of facts because I'm very involved in the business side of this as well. So I know exactly what's going on, and I'm communicating with the booking agencies. I'm communicating with the promoters. As a matter of fact, I emailed this guy personally because I know the cat. He's not the guy that he's not a guy I would have come to my house and, break bread with my family. But he's a guy who might pop up here or there. And we say, hey, come in the backstage and have a drink. Make yourself at home. So it's that kind of friendship. You know what I mean? You do shows with people for 10 years plus. You form a little bit of a friendship. And it's always been cool and respectful. But after this whole incident, that's all out the window because I just can't do business or be friends with people that are slimy and slithery and phony. Bottom line, I can't bring myself to do that. You know what I mean? Like, if there was a problem, people could have reached out and said, hey man, this is getting real. It's really bad over here. It's getting real bad. Like, can we just, and I'm sure everyone would have gladly been like, yeah, you know what, man, let's not take chances. But to not tell us and make us book flights from Athens that cost thousands of dollars to reroute, get the fuck out of here. You crazy? This is ridiculous, man. And then, on top of that, yeah, people didn't get to see a show. People, and it's like, there's a lot more to it, man. There's so much more to it. But we gotta let people know our side of it, why we didn't make it there. it was completely out of our control.
Greece, we love you.
We love you, Athens. We love Thessaloniki. We love all the islands. We love. I'm gonna eat some fucking fava dip. I'm gonna have some fava dip and black olives.
We love goats
and what else? Feta cheese right after I get off this shit.
From under cheese. You know what?
People probably gonna go, hey, oh yeah, these guys are making a big joke about it. Yeah, we're not joking about it, man. We're keeping it real. We're keeping it honest. We're keeping it genuine. That's all we can do here. We gotta let people know the real deal about what happened. I speak for AF. I speak for Madball. I speak for, everyone that was involved. MAD. You know what I'm saying? There was some real unprofessional and slimy shit that went down, and that's it. That's the bottom line. We had nothing to do with it. If we would have been there, we would have played a show. Pay or no pay. How's that feel? Okay, but we couldn't get there.
We out.
How far of a swim is that? How far of a swim is that? Could we have made a boat and paddled ourselves over there? Fucking crazy. These motherfuckers are crazy, man. But anyway, we love Greece. We love Athens.
And we love all our supporters. We will be seeing you next opportunity.
We'll be back.
Yeah, exactly.
Crisis or no crisis, nothing will stop us from going to these areas, man. Because as long as there's people supporting our music and as long as people want us there, we're going to be there. People talking about we're going to lose fans, clients. First of all, our supporters are not clients, man. They're part of an extended family that's called the Worldwide Hardcore Family. Let me make that very clear. I never refer to people as clients. I'm not a fucking lawyer. Okay? Secondly, we're going to get there, man. The real people know what time it is. And I hope Greece comes out of this situation, man. I hope things start improving for them as a country. You know what I mean? Especially the hard-working, the working class people. You know what I mean? Not the filthy rich, the people who are really mostly being affected by this shit. You know what I mean? We wish the best. We wish the best for them, sincerely, genuinely. But, hey, we have, people don't know what's going on this end, man. We might have our own personal financial crisis happening. People don't know that. We're not going to speak on that. But, hey, think about it from all perspectives, is what I'm saying. Shout out to my wife, who's pregnant, watching my son and holding down the fort. Keeping it real. Lisa, you're the best. Shout out to all our families, man, who put up with all this shit.
And to Mikey for looking like an ex-murderer.
Mike's here? Oh, shit.
Looking like a fucking ex-murderer. But,
Mike is especially upset. He's half Greek.
Yeah, exactly. He's Greek from the chin up.
You know what I'm saying?
But, again, we want to thank everybody for listening. Spread the word. We out.
Peace.
Smoking word. Smoking word. Smoking word. What up? What up? What up? Smoking word.